Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. There's a new article from AMB Crypto titled Ripple's Garlinghouse, that's the CEO of Ripple of course, at least one non-G20 currency will become digitized in 2020. Now, this article is stemming from a Ripple Insights blog that came out yesterday, which I talked about, but after this article, now there's a little bit more to say. So I'm gonna be sharing some additional thoughts with you on this. And by the way, the G20, it's a group of 20 countries that was founded in 1999 with the goal of communicating, working together to ensure international financial stability. That's what the G20 is. That's the reason that it was started in the first place here. And so I want to talk a little bit about what are the implications of digitized currencies for all these 20 in the G20. Moving forward, because again, Brad Garlinghouse thinks that at least one of them is going to have a digitized currency in 2020. So there we are. I've also got this is one just for fun. I'll share this for the end, but it's from Cointelegraph titled "19-year-old suspect charged with $1 million crypto heist via SIM swaps." And this is fascinating here because I hadn't heard this before, but there's a new article out titled "Analyst Says Multi-Billion-Dollar Ponzi Scheme Suppressed Bitcoin and Crypto Markets," which of course includes XRP. And so that got me thinking. So I'm going to share with you the specifics on this. And I would love some feedback on if you think that this was a contributing factor. But either way, this is fascinating, but perhaps there is something to it. Now, before we go any further, if you would please delicately tap that like button, and if you are a fan of Ripple and XRP, go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel. It's a reasonable thing to do. I'll go ahead and start with this one. Analyst says multi-billion-dollar Ponzi scheme suppressed Bitcoin and crypto markets. Kim Grauer, senior economist at Chainalysis, a leading blockchain security and analysis firm, highlights the three main findings from the company's latest report on Plus token. By the way, before I even cover this further, I just want to state that as it pertains to Bitcoin, of course, it leads the market. This goes without saying, I hope, even though I just said it. And so one Ponzi involving Bitcoin, that would be enough to affect XRP also, because all the rest of the cryptocurrencies are going to follow in lockstep, more or less. The alleged crypto scam promised huge returns to investors. The Chainalysis report analyzes the scam's potential impact on Bitcoin's price and how the perpetrators might be using over-the-counter crypto trading to engage in money laundering after Plus token went bust and its app went offline over the summer. Grauer, who commented on the scandal during an interview with Block TV, says one of the main reasons for conducting an extensive investigation on Plus token was due to its sheer size. She confirms that the scammers arrested in June allegedly stole at least $2 billion from investors over the past year. And here's a quote from Grauer now. Plus token is one of the largest Ponzi schemes, not just in crypto. The second thing we noticed about this were issues surrounding money laundering. Not only the size, but how are the criminals moving the money from the Plus token wallet to off-ramps, which are exchanges. And the report focuses specifically on over-the-counter brokers. We did look at Huobi specifically as it was one of the largest receivers of the Plus token money. And then the third was the price. What is the relation between this activity, all of the stolen Bitcoin and ETH, and a few other cryptocurrencies as those funds move to the exit ramps? What is the impact of that activity on the price? Because it is essentially flooding the market with Bitcoin and Ether that needs to be offloaded and sold very rapidly. So check this out. We specifically looked at Huobi because the most funds went there. And we saw that when the funds went there, there would be really large cash outs in one day, over $30 million in one day, for example, and we would do some regressions, basically. We tried to correlate that with what was happening on the Huobi order books, and what we found was that immediately after a large sell-off of those stolen funds to the over-the-counter brokers on Huobi, there was a statistically significant increase in volatility on these exchanges, which then was related to the price decline. So do you think that there's actually something to this conceptually? Perhaps it at a minimum played a role, right? I tell you what, there's just insane amounts of manipulation in this market, but that's why I always go back to, as it pertains to the price of XRP, and I think I made this point in a video yesterday, it's just whether you buy at XRP at, say you had it half a cent, back when it initially was available on exchanges roughly 7 years ago, whether you bought it at that or the all-time high of $3.90, whatever it was, if you bought at the low or the high or anywhere in between, if you could just fast forward a couple decades, it's just going to look like a drop in the bucket. It's going to look like absolutely nothing. It just seems tremendous, just in the sense that if you consider the volatility XRP went through, like in 2015, when it went from, I think it was 2015, yeah, that may have been the first time there was a big jump up like this. I have to go back to look at the charts, but I know there was an instance very early on where XRP went from half a cent to 6 cents, which sounds like nothing, right? We can have that happen in a day, and it's no big deal. It's kind of like par for the course at this point. That kind of swing in terms of the number of cents involved. But that's a 12-fold increase, and then of course it crashed back down to right about where it started. But if you think about it, that would have seemed monstrous back then, whereas today it seems monstrous going from almost $4 all the way down to, as it sits now, as I record, it's like 19.5 cents. It seems monstrous, right? Of course, I get that. But it's going to look like a drop in the bucket because all that's happening right now is this sort of price action based purely on speculation and not utility. But I'm telling you, once there's genuine adoption the world over, this will look like nothing. Now, of course, I'm saying that, and I firmly believe that, but I want to be clear, that is not financial advice. Don't buy or sell anything because I don't have a financial background. I'm just sharing an opinion right there. All right, here's a tweet from Savage XRP, who writes, "Moon Lambo, look what I found." And he's got a picture here of this. This is Sam's Club here, and there's 3 little pies, and if you have it at the right angle, it looks like the Ripple logo. And it's funny, so I actually posted a picture. I saw these very same pies, I don't know, like a month or so ago, and I actually posted it. And I was thrilled because David Schwartz, a Ripple CTO, co-creator of the XRP ledger, he liked it. And I was like, oh my God. It's cool. So anyway, I did that. And so Savage XRP, you found the very same pies. And he wrote $9.98, hashtag XRP on December 23rd. It has to be a sign. So I'm sure I didn't zoom in here. Here, I can do it now. I guess it's the date must be sold by, I don't know. $9.98. Looking for code in these pies at Sam's Club. There you go. Anyway, shout out to you, good sir. I like it. Who doesn't like pie? All right, here's a tweet from Bitcoin Marco. This came across my Twitter feed, and I like this. So he writes, "Crypto Twitter. Bitcoin will be worth $300,000 one day, but I'm too scared to buy at $3,000. Next, XRP will be worth $20 one day, but I'm too scared to buy under 20 cents. Next, Ethereum will be worth $10,000 one day, but I'm too scared to buy under 100. Does this sound familiar? Now, I don't say this to sway us in terms of buying or selling, but it's clear to me the point that Bitcoin Marco here is getting at, and it resonates with me. It's just the concept of when things look. When it comes to cryptocurrencies or even stocks, it's like it's the only types of things that can go dramatically on sale and people want less of it. Can you imagine that happening when televisions go on sale or I don't know, what else do people buy? I don't know. A furniture, a video game console, I don't care what it is. So it goes on sale and that results in fewer transactions and less sales. Like it's the only thing because the fear, the emotion plays into it. Oh my God, is it never going to recover this or that? But if you look at the data shows, both in the stock market and the 10-year history of crypto, that when there are these bottoms, it's historically, again, not financial advice, historically it's been a very good buying opportunity. All right, so to Ripple's Garlinghouse stating, at least one non-G20 currency will become digitized in 2020. So for those of you that hadn't heard, I'll just real quickly get you caught up to speed. Ripple's partnership with SBI and MoneyGram proved to be beneficial for expanding the digital assets use cases during the Swell Conference of 2019. Ripple spoke about several partnerships it had kept undercover, which may be announced in 2020. As the year comes to an end, Ripple talked about 3 major themes of 2020 that might fuel the next major crypto pump. In a blog post, the first theme the company hopes to develop was digital assets taking over consumer financial products like Gojek, Grab, and PayPal. And then there's a quote from Ashish Burla, which is, adoption of digital assets and blockchain technology among mobile wallets and super apps like Gojek, Grab, and PayPal will become more mainstream as they look to expand their services to keep up with customer demand and compete with banks. And then and Ashish Burla, of course, he's the senior vice president, one of them at Ripple. Anyway, with a positive outlook towards crypto adoption by the mainstream sectors, the company hoped that the use cases for crypto will emerge in the developing markets of Kenya, Nigeria, and parts of Latin America. The blog claimed that these applications will be catalyzed by friendlier regulation towards digital assets, which will in turn attract tech companies. However, shifting focus to the regulatory scenario across the world, Ripple might have to wait longer to achieve clarity on the status of crypto and XRP. All right. And here's a quote from Brad Garlinghouse. Now, Brad forecasts at least one non-G20 currency, like the Argentine peso or similar, will become fully digitized within the next year. And that's something that was a surprise to me. The fact that he suspected it would go that way. Not actually. You know what? Let me backtrack just a little bit. It's not as much that he was speculating that would happen, because we could already see that there are countries around the world that are heading in that direction anyway. It's more so that he seemed to think it was a positive, when in the past what I had heard from him is that skepticism, and I actually still have skepticism as to the purpose of this, but even if you can make a case, and maybe there's a case to be made, that'd be fine. I just, it hasn't been articulated to me anywhere, and I research crypto on a daily basis, especially XRP. I haven't seen a reasonable case made as to why it's particularly valuable when compared to legacy ledgers and the way that money moves around the world today, because it's already digitized technically, it's just not blockchain. But just keep in mind that even if all of the G20 nations here digitized, quote-unquote, digitized their currencies, their fiat currencies, understand that it's, I just want to be clear, because there seems to be some confusion in some quarters of the crypto sphere here, especially as it pertains to people in the XRP community, just some, wondering what does this mean? Because it always goes, you know what it always goes back to is just this concept of, some sort of blockchain stable coin that it's just going to take over the role of what XRP is being positioned for as Ripple sees it, as a bridge currency. And the truth of the matter is, even if you have these digitized currencies, they don't interoperate. So it's not like this is some sort of magical solution. I'm sorry, it's just not a thing. All right, next, here's a piece from Cointelegraph. 19-year-old suspect charged with $1 million crypto heist via SIM swaps. And apparently this seems to be the hot way to steal from people as it pertains to crypto. These SIM swaps. These stories are freaking rampant. So 19-year-old charged with $1 million crypto heist. Because as my grandpappy used to say, people are no damn good. A 19-year-old man has been indicted for identity theft as part of an alleged $1 million plus cryptocurrency heist affecting at least 75 victims in the United States. Well, this guy sucks. Where's your mommy and daddy? You deserve a spanking. A news release published on December 18th by Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus R. Vance alleged that Yusuf Selassie, 19, conducted a complex SIM swapping scheme targeting residents across 20 different states. SIM swapping, also known as a port-out scam, involves the theft of a victim's cell phone number in order to hijack their online financial and social media accounts by intercepting the automated message or phone calls used for two-factor authentication security measures. I'm willing to bet this guy's going to jail for a long time here. As the Manhattan District Attorney's Office news release outlines, Selassie has been indicted on 9 counts, including identity theft in the first and second degrees, grand larceny in the first and fourth degrees, computer trespassing and tampering, and scheming to defraud in the first degree. In a statement, Attorney Vance said that the suspect had perpetrated the crimes from his Brooklyn apartment, illicitly accessing accounts belonging to 75 victims and siphoning over $1 million in cryptocurrency using little more than an iPhone and computer. It's freaking crazy, isn't it? Yeah, sometimes people just suck. That's it for this video. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything, because if anything I say or write, that would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!